Hi, how are you? Here it's raining a lot, but we need this water because it was too dry. Today I will try to explain something, not all, but something concerning the differences between flute and recorder. I am not a very good flute player, but I like very much to play flutes and to learn to play flutes, and I am a good recorder player. But this is the first thing that I have to say. I guess that for a recorder player to play baroque flute could be important because we learn an interesting way to make ornaments, to make legato, to make especially French music. For Italian music, for Vivaldi, Corelli, I think it's not so. The recorder player will not learn a lot from playing Italian music with flute, baroque flute. But the opposite, I think that the baroque flute player for playing concerto by Vivaldi or Corelli or something else, Italian music, Frescobaldi of course, they could be interesting to play with the recorder. And vice versa, for playing French music with baroque flute, it's perfect, the way of making ornaments, of making staccato, legato, pronunciation, turu turu, diggle diggle. It's very, there is a, I think that I've learned a lot playing baroque flute, a lot for playing recorder. The difference between the two instruments is in the way in which we produce the sound. The sound of recorder is more clear, is more like crystal. The same note with flute will be probably, I'm not so good, but will be not. There is more feeling in the sound of a flute. There is more human voice in the sound of flutes. But the tonguing is less clear. Someone could be better than me, make this better, but if you listen, there is this difference. As you can see here, there is 6 holes. It's the same 6 holes that there are here. This is doppel, but just for making halftone. But in mostly 99% of the recorder, ancient recorder in the museum, there are 6 holes. Here there is this hole that doesn't exist here. Here there is nothing, a hole for the thumb. And this is one of the biggest difference. For example, this is a tenor, so this is G, okay. If I have to make lower G, and higher G has the same fingering, is here that something has to change. At all the same here. Here in the same fingering there is Do, C. If I close I have the lower C. If I put half I have the higher C. So I have to move this finger The difference is that the octave are more sure here because there is a fingering for making the octave, but the speed for changing could be difficult. Pop, 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 pop. In this, you make only with pressure and with okay, and here there is some different fingering, for example, for making the trill, from going. I think that I have to take the soprano, so we will listen the same notes in both instruments. One more. Five, the second case of the soprano. Here we are. Okay, because the soprano has the same note an octave higher. For example, for making before. Alto recorder has not only 6 all, but a 7th one. This. What is strange is that also the flute has 7 all, 6 all, and a 7th one. This that you open with this key. Okay, but it's completely different because I have a 6 hole, and when I push this key, I open something, and so the note go up. And this is one of the great difference between recorder and flute, because in the recorder, when you push one key, you close something. So you go down. And with the baroque flute, you go up. And this is for the people that play both, it's make a great confusion. But just for telling you, this is an instrument in which the lower note is D. This, the baroque one, is an instrument in which the lower note is C. For having a recorder that is as a baroque flute, you need to avoid the last piece, and so with this 6 hole, you will have circa D. But with this piece, you go very. It is longer, very longer. It's like flutes that arrive until here. It exists the modern one, but not the baroque one, and so you can arrive until the C. The fingering is similar in many notes. For example, if I make G, A, B, I don't know if you see. And this is exactly the same. Also, for example, if I make G, E, D. G, A, D, A, G. G, E, D, E, G, A, D. With this English name, I became crazy. Same fingering, same note. This is an octave higher, but same fingering and same note. Concerning the F, there is some difference. Because the natural F we make with this and the little finger that close. Here the little finger cannot close because if I push the key I open. And we have this position, but it is a little out of tune. It's too high. Ta ta ti. It's in the middle between F and F sharp. So when I have to make a natural F, I have to turn the instrument to make this movement with the instrument. And this is one of the difficulties. With the recorder we don't need this, also because we cannot make this. And the F sharp in the recorder is made with these two fingerings. With the baroque flute it doesn't work very well. It's too high. And normally we make these just with one finger, but it is too low. We open the key, but it doesn't change a lot. So we have to make the opposite of the B F natural. We have to open. And with F natural, this is a difference between both instruments. Here we have not to do, we cannot do this because the way in which we make sound is fixed. We just can use different fingering. Okay. Concerning, for example, G sharp is the same. A, G sharp, A. Concerning B flat is the same. It's a little higher in this instrument. And here without the medium. Okay, so the first lower note from D until B are very, very similar, in some moment identical fingerings. Okay, now C, Do. With the recorder you change. It doesn't work with flute. It's too high. You have to make these two fingerings. A, B, C, B, A, B, C, A. Okay. C sharp. With the recorder you make like an A, but without thumb. Here there is no thumb, so if you make an A and you move the thumb, nothing happened. There is another position. The position, the fingering from C sharp is all open. And this works also with the recorder, but with the thumb closed. Okay. And now the greatest difference between recorder and baroque flute is the same difference between a recorder and whistle. The D, the higher D, the medium D in the recorder is a C without thumb. Okay. Here, if we make C and I move the thumb, nothing happened. So I have to change. The medium D has the lower D without index. The lower D was and this is great difference. They make a lot of confusion because this fingering in a recorder make D sharp. But this make D natural. And this is a big problem. So for example, when you make the scale from G to D, here the first three fingers are the same, but the fourth and fifth are completely different. Okay, and now D sharp is here. Here is a D with key, but D is without index. D sharp is better with index. It works without index, but it's depends for the instrument. So the note C, D, E flat, here is made okay. E has the same finger of the lower E. The difference is make here, and in this instrument is not easy, I don't know why. If you look, the finger doesn't move. In the recorder, you can move the thumb in two ways. You open or you pass from close to half close. Of course, the first movement is easier. E. F natural, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp or B flat are circa the same. I will make the chromatic scale. This is different, we will speak about, but until B flat is very similar. This is interesting. In the recorder, the top E, B has nothing to do with the lower E. The lower E is this. And the top E is an A plus two finger. In the flutes, B, I'm sorry, not E, B. The medium B is this. And the higher one is the same. Better with this key. You can use this key for many notes. For example, for the central register, it doesn't make difference, but if you close this key, you sustain better the instrument. And it works better the higher note with opened key. I'm sorry, something happened. I will check if I am recording or not. Yes, I was recording, because sometimes I make long video and it's a record nothing. Sorry. With the key. So the higher B is exactly the same of the lower. And then what is interesting is that these instruments can go higher, much higher than the recorder, because you are making something with your lips, with the pressure, with the tongue. And with the recorder you cannot, because the way of making the sound is done here by the maker, and you can change it. So the recorder make notes with fingering, and the flute make notes with fingering, but also with pressure and with the corner in which the air arrive upon this hole. And now, just for finishing, the last thing, the ornaments. In the recorder you have alternative fingering, for example, for making a trill between B flat and A. With the flute we don't have this. This is not a D, an A. So with flute you can use only, I say, the ancient way of making trill, for example, between B flat and A. It's interesting, it works, but it's made between this note. If you play slowly, it's horrible. If you play with a long first note and then a short trill, the same, for example, from between C and B, you cannot make this. In the recorder there is an alternative position. It doesn't work in the flute. So in flute you have to make if you play like a computer da 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 da, it's horrible. But if you play it works very well, and it is with good style. Okay, if you have a question, don't worry, I think it's better for me to answer questions. I hope it has been useful. Bye bye. It's not complete, but it's something in introduction.